WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, have some fun. WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, like and subscribe.
Hi everyone, I'm Wagsy. Welcome to WAGSY'S World. Man, am I excited today. Oh, I'm excited about this subject. Today is what makes the band Journey great. Wheel in the sky keeps a turning, turning, turning. One of my favorite bands. I love all music, but they're at the top for me. They really are. Before I get into everything, please like, subscribe, ring the bell. I would greatly appreciate it. A couple days ago, I was thinking about Major League Sports and what minimum wage for the players are these days. So I looked it up and thought I would share it with you. The NFL, $660,000 per season. Major League Baseball, $563,000 per season. The NBA, $925,000 per season. Major League Hockey, this one was interesting to me. It surprised me. $775,000 per season. Come on, guys. Pick up the stick. Pick up the puck. Get it in the net. You'll get paid later, looks like. Major League Soccer, $54,500. Now, come on, owners. That's a little low. We got a lot of youth playing soccer. If they're good, if they're great, at a later date, pay them. Pay them. That's pretty low. If you didn't see episode 1 of WAGSY'S World, check it out. That'll just show you kind of how the format's going to go on our channel and give you a good idea of what's happening down the road. Okay, let's get into it. Journey. The critics' accolades and the statistics behind things, their sales. Not much on the critics' accolades. The critics don't like Journey, and they never have. They call them vanilla, corporate. But I don't understand that because great musicians. Neil Schon, great guitarist. Greg Rowley. Steve Machine Gun Smith, a great instrumental band. Then you add in Steve Perry, who's become known as one of the top rock vocalists of all time. Him, Freddie Mercury, Robert Plant. So I never really got that aspect of the critics kind of shunning the band Journey. So we're going to put that aside because I love Journey. We love Journey, and I know a lot of you really love Journey as well. So let's look at some of their record sales and tours that have supported that. People like Journey a lot. 26 albums, 59 singles, 26 top 100 singles, 18 top 40 singles. Open Arms reached number 2. Sales of 48 million in the US and about 80 million worldwide. That's only one notch below Van Halen, who the critics like and the public loves. So they're right in there. 8 world tours in their history. And I'm talking about the big ones. You know, stadiums between 20 and 60,000. Big concerts. They had a lot of regional tours as well that they've done over the years. Now, Don't Stop Believin' is not my favorite Journey song, but it is the most downloaded song of the 20th century. I think 7 million downloads. Even AllMusic Mag called it the perfect song. So there's one critic that kind of said something nice about Journey, and here's one other. They didn't say anything, they just put them in one of their lists. Rolling Stone magazine, and they don't like Journey, never have. Called Don't Stop Believin' the 133 greatest rock song. I don't know if I agree with that, but they did give them a little love. That's about all I could find critic-wise, but I didn't look that hard because I know they're not fans of Journey. We don't care. Now, the reason that I think Journey is great, and there's many, but I'll share a few. I'm going to cover the Steve Perry era. Steve Perry, Neil Schon, Greg Rowley, Steve Smith, Ross Valerie, and then a little later, Jonathan Cain. Basically, 1978 to 1986. Now, I'm very biased because Steve Perry grew up about 20 miles in a town from my town. my hometown. So while I started liking them maybe because of him, it just grew and grew because of their musicianship, the songs, the great songs, and the vocals, of course. A couple little stories about Journey, Steve Perry. When I was in high school, we used to get a lot of exchange students back then, Sweden, Germany, places like that. Now, we dressed crazy and they dressed even crazier. So one day I'm looking down the hall and I saw a guy talking to a couple people, and he was dressed kind of, crazy. And I thought, oh, there's another exchange student. Well, I come to find out later in the day, it was Steve Perry, and he had gone to the choir department and gave a little talk about singing. He also demoed 2 songs off the forthcoming album, Evolution, at the time. So this is like about in 1978, 79 at the latest. So that's just a pretty cool little story. He went to the high school and did a talk. By the way, he also sang in the junior college, in our community college in that area. First tenor, I'm sure. First tenor, of course. Now, I have another story that is family related, and this one's even crazier. My cousins had a band that played in the 70s, mid-70s, and they played bars, weddings, events, things like that. Well, they had a little name locally. So Steve Perry asked one of the members of the band if he could join the band. Well, they told him no. He said he was a drummer. And they said, well, no, because my cousin and his brother were the founders of this band, and he played drums, so they didn't need a drummer. Well, about 2 years later or so, they hear Steve Perry singing Wheel in the Sky on the radio. And they said, why didn't you tell us this guy could sing? And the guy said, well, he didn't say he wanted to sing. He said he wanted to play drums. So what a crazy story about the music industry and how it kind of works, which is there's no rhyme or reason whatsoever. Also, the first 3 albums for me, Infinity, Evolution, Departure. Great albums. They were the soundtrack to my teenage years, and I love them very much. Those are the albums that really built the brand of Journey. Now, Escape came later, and that was their huge album that catapulted them into superstardom. But those first 3 albums really built their brand. On the Escape album, that was released 60 days after my marriage in 1981. So that had a little tie into the Escape album, but I didn't need that. It was a great album, and everyone loved that album. It made them the biggest band in the world at least that year, and maybe a year or 2 after. I always ask a lot of my friends, if you were on a deserted island and you could only listen to music from one artist or one band, what would it be? I've asked this many times to friends and family. Well, for me, it's Journey. I don't think I would ever grow tired of hearing their music. Well, 30 years, I might get tired. But it is a band that I could listen to all the time. So that would be my pick for a deserted island artist to take with me. And those are just some of the things that, for me, why Journey is great. Some of the things I said and many more that I'm going to bore you with. Now, please like, subscribe, ring the bell if you can. That would be appreciated if you enjoy the content. We're going to be adding a lot of things as we go. We're just kind of getting our wheels going, getting our feet. But I hope you like today's. And I have one last thing for you. It's a cooking tip. Making brownies. Who doesn't like brownies? I've got Ghirardelli and Duncan Hines here with me. And the tip is, instead of adding the water, which in both these cases is 2 ounces, substitute the water with either Irish cream, Kahlua, or rum. It'll give you a super decadent brownie. Lots of great flavors, intensity. Man, when you're baking this in the oven, it's going to smell so great. But it also gives you 3 different flavors on a chocolate-based brownie. If you get a caramel one, and I don't have one here, but there's a caramel one, make sure add bourbon to that one. Get a sweet bourbon. Boy, those go together great. So that's your tip for this week. And I do appreciate you guys liking and subscribing. Man, we had a lot of views off the first one. And I'm hoping to get better at this for you. I'm trying to cut out the uhs and the ums. But thank you very much. You guys have a great weekend. And we will see you next Friday.
WAGSY'S World, WAGSY'S World, it's awesome. WAGSY'S